So if you remember, these are the deities which are given in the introduction to the D10 chart and how to read it in the first video in the playlist. You can look it up. But just to recap, the deities are the archetypes of energies which a person will have, which they bring to the profession in the D10 chart. Now, mind you, these deities or these archetypes are only meant for D10 chart, not so much for D1 chart. Okay, forget the natal chart for the time being. Only the Shamsha, the 10th divisional chart. 0 to 3 degrees leadership, 3 to 6 degrees strong work ethic, determined people, 6 to 9 degrees Yama, discipline, strong sense of responsibility, 9 to 12 competitive spirit, 12 to 16 excellent communication skills. Other things I mentioned, I'm quickly recapping. 15 to 18 degrees, they are very dynamic and flexible, quickest to adapt. 18 to 21 degrees, it's more of financial wealth, astute sensitivity, right? Accountants kind of. 21 to 24 degrees is ability to find purpose and meaning in life. This can once again apply to all kinds of professions, mind you. Just because you're in the medical field doesn't mean you're stuck in hospitals or clinics all the time. You might be able to bring a higher meaning, like Dr. Hegde in India, right? He's bringing a higher meaning to medical science. 24 to 27 degrees is intellectual capability and innovative thinking. 27 to 30 degrees is stability and long lasting success. So, mind you, all of these 3 degrees and 10 divisions in the D10 chart, in the career chart, are very important to consider. So, any planet or point in those particular degrees will have a propensity, will have a drive in that particular direction. That's all it means. It will have that quality. Okay. This is very crucial to understand. So you should understand this when you're determining the qualities of the planet in a D10 chart. Now let's see Pusha Nakshatra, what it brings to the table. So in Uttara Bhadrapada, the following careers are possible, same as Purva Bhadrapada, by the way. Talents and abilities, spiritual and mystical pursuits. They may excel in spiritual practices and mystical pursuits. They may thrive as spiritual leaders, gurus, meditation teachers, yoga teachers, energy healers, or in roles that involve guiding others on spiritual journeys. This is as Piscean as it gets, the exalted form of Jupiter. So you've got to see where Jupiter is falling when you talk of Uttara Bhadrapada. Healing and alternative therapies. They may be interested in healing professions. They may thrive as Reiki practitioners, holistic therapists, Ayurvedic practitioners, or involved in promoting well-being. We shall see this by ascendants further in the video. Creative and performing arts. They may excel in performing arts, artists, musicians, singers, poets, writers, actors, and so on. They may excel in writing and journalistic abilities, journalism fields, authors, bloggers, editors. This is where it's slightly different from Purva Bhadrapada. Purva Bhadrapada is very Aquarian in nature. This is a little more seeking creative expression in terms of mystical creative pursuits. So think of self-help books, for example. Social work and humanitarian causes, they're similar to Purva Bhadrapada. They may excel in social work and humanitarian fields as social workers, as counselors, activists, volunteers. Last one is research and investigation professions. They may thrive as scientists, researchers, analysts in academics or roles that involve investigation. Now let's see by ascendant. For the Aries ascendant, we have 3 combinations in the ascendant nakshatras, Ashwini, Bharani, and Kritika. For Ashwini and more planets and points in Uttara Bhadrapada, which is now in 12th house, the traditional Pisces, it can be more of hidden stuff doing behind the scenes. So it can be more of social work for Ashwini, more like activists. Ashwini is a very initiative kind of energy. For Bharani, it may be more of, again, social work and humanitarian causes. Again, more of activists, but Bharani is more of dharma, so it may be more like women's causes, children's causes. Bharani is very keen on that. Kritika, on the other side, may be writing and journalism, very critical writing and journalism. investigative journalism, research and investigator, that kind of a profession. For the Taurus ascendant now, Uttara Bhadrapada falls in the 11th house, so it's all about community work. So they may engage more in different kind of professions. Let's see the ascendants. Kritika, Rohini, and Mrigshirsha. Mrigshirsha might be more into writing and journalism. Okay, they are intellectual people, Mrigshirsha. So if you have a dominance of planets or points in Uttara Bhadrapada in the 11th house, writing for the masses. Okay. Rohini, on the other side, may become creative people, musicians, artists, poets, writers, etc. Kritika, also again more of writing and creating performing arts, more of writing and journalism. Social work and humanitarian causes also can be Kritika in this context for the Taurus ascendant. For the Gemini ascendant, it becomes dominant because now it falls in the 10th house, traditional house of career. So pay attention to this one. If you're a Gemini ascendant, you have planets and points in D10 in Uttara Bhadrapada in the 10th house. What can be the careers? Depends upon the ascendant. The ascendant nakshatra is Mrikshirsha, Ardra, and Punarvasu. If it's Punarvasu, it's more like teaching. Punarvasu can be more of teaching, healing professions like teaching Reiki, teaching channeling, teaching all these kinds of things. Ardra can also become that. Yes, definitely. Then for Rikshisha, it may be more about writing and journalism. Okay, because third sign is air sign. It's more of intellectual capacity. So they may become writers, bloggers, editors, that kind of a role. For the Cancer ascendant, Uttara Bhadrapada is now in the 9th house. Let's see the ascendant once again. Punarvasu, Pusha, and Ashlesha. Ashlesha will be more of healing and alternative therapies. They'll be very good at that. Even teaching because it's in the 9th house. For Pusha Nakshatra, it's a more teaching kind of energy. It can also be healing and alternative therapies, holistic Reiki practitioners, that kind of a thing. And for Punarvasu, it may be more of social work and humanitarian. For the Leo ascendant, that comes in the 8th house. 8th house of secrecy, 8th house of research and investigation comes in mind. Magha, Purva Falguni, and Uttara Falguni are now in the ascendant. Magha will be more of social and humanitarian causes, maybe even writing and journalism in an investigative kind, investigative journalism. Purva Falguni and Uttara Falguni, on the other hand, may be more into research and investigation, mainstream research and investigation, scientists, researchers, analysts, academical research roles. For the Virgo ascendant, we have three combinations in the ascendant: Uttara Falguni, Hasta, and Chitra. Now, Uttara Bhadrapada is in the 7th house, like you can see. What happens here? Uttara Falguni may become more of creative and performing arts. Hasta may also become creative performing arts, or it can become more of writing and journalism and skills. Hasta. Chitra again, creative and performing arts. So Chitra and Uttara Falguni is somewhat similar here. For the Libra ascendant, now it's in the 12th sign of Pisces is in the 6th house. So Uttara Bhadrapada is in 6th house. What are the combinations in Libra ascendant in D10? Chitra, Swati, and Vishakha. Chitra will become more of creative and performing arts. There you can see in the list. Look for those planets. If you say creative performing arts for Uttara Bhadrapada, you have to look for Venus, Mars, Mercury, and Rahu combinations thereof. Always look at the point that the planets I have marked, okay, against each. For Swati, it'll become more like very individualistic writing, more like Ayn Rand kind of writing, okay? Journalistic fields, creative novelists. That might become Swati for sure. Vishakha, on the other hand, may again become of creative and performing arts. For Scorpio ascendant, we have three combinations up in the ascendant. Vishakha, Anuradha, and Jyeshtha. Vishakha, once again, can do creative and performing arts because now it's in the fifth house, Uttara Bhadrapada, like you can see. Okay. For Anuradha also, it can become creative and performing arts, but more of healing and alternative therapies. Anuradha is a Devgana. For Jyeshtha Nakshatra, it will become more like writing and journalism. Okay. For Sagittarius, in the ascendant, we have Uttarashada, Purvashada, and Mula. And now Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra is in fourth house. So if this is the combination you have, Mula Nakshatra can do more like, what can it be? More like healing and alternative therapies comes to mind. Reiki practitioners, holistic healers, Ayurvedic practitioners. Ayurvedic would be more like it, herbal stuff for Mula. For Uttarashada and Purvashada, it may be more like writing and journalism. That could be one of the things. Not so much research and investigation, more like writing and journalism. Okay. For Capricorn ascendant, now we are in the third house with Uttara Bhadrapada. So what do we have in ascendant? Uttarashada, Shravana, and Dhanishta. Uttarashada, once again, more writing skills. Shravana also may be writing skills in journalism, authors, bloggers, editors, journalists, that kind of a profession. For Dhanishta, it's creative and performing arts, more like musicians, writers, poets, that kind of a profession. For the Aquarius ascendant, now we are in the second house of wealth with Uttara Bhadrapada. What ascendants are there? Dhanishta, Shatabhisha, and Purva Bhadrapada. Dhanishta will be more of singing artist, performing arts as in singing, vocal. Okay, rock stars, maybe classical music of India, kind of. Okay, anything. Shatabhisha, on the other hand, becomes more of research and investigation because second house looks at the eighth house of investigation. Scientists, researchers, that kind of a thing. Shatabhisha is very good in abstract sciences. All science is really abstract. Bringing abstract into concrete or something real. Purva Bhadrapada will become more of spiritual and mystical pursuits. Okay. Spiritual leaders, that kind of thing. People who can talk their way out of anything. Teaching, preaching kind of spiritual pursuits. If its ascendant is in Purva Bhadrapada and more planets in Uttara Bhadrapada, this makes it a dominant teacher of sorts. One who can speak. Eckhart Tolle comes to mind. Lastly, for the Pisces ascendant, you have everything in the ascendant itself. So you may bring all these talents, or at least 80% of this you might have by default. You can pick in your correct career path based on where the other planets are in your D10, what the deities are, where they are placed, and that kind of an approach. The deities I have already given before. Okay. Next, let's finish up with the nakshatras with the Revati nakshatra.